Hi, it's Chef Mike at 18 Reasons. I'm here today to talk you through a classic French sauce. We're going to use 3 real ingredients and 1 secret ingredient to make a very versatile French sauce, very fancy pants sauce that you will find yourself putting on all kinds of vegetables. It's amazing on chicken. It probably is best served next to a piece of fish. Today we're going to make a white butter sauce, or a Beurre Blanc. So I've got about a cup of a dry white wine into a pot, and I'm going to add 1 minced shallot into that same pot. I'm just going to put this over high heat and begin cooking it down. So one of the secrets here is that wine, and the acidity in that wine is going to pull flavor from the shallots, and all the wonderful fruity tones of the white wine are going to concentrate and reduce. We're going to get a very acidic, very powerfully shallot flavored reduction in the bottom of the pan. At that point, we're going to add in the butter. So butter, straight from the fridge, really cold, very hard actually. This is mostly water and fat. And as we all know, water and fat don't mix unless they're emulsified. Butter is an emulsification. The fat and the water stay together forever as long as you keep it refrigerated. It's emulsified right now. The trick is going to be keeping it emulsified when we add it into the sauce. So right now I can hear, really important you pay attention to all your senses in the kitchen. I can hear that my wine has come to a boil. It's begun reducing with the shallots. I've got about 6 ounces of really cold butter. Here's where it gets tricky. You have to check. In your kitchen right now, are there any classic French chefs hanging around? You got to check really close. Sometimes they're tricky. Do you have anyone versed in the classics of French cuisine coming over for dinner tonight? As long as you don't, I really recommend you add a 4th ingredient to this sauce. It's not part of a classical Beurre Blanc. And you may be told it's not a Beurre Blanc if you put this ingredient in. But it will really, really make the sauce much more hearty and less likely to break. We're going to reduce the wine and the shallot till it's almost dry. Then we're going to add in a splash of heavy cream. This will make our sauce not a classic Beurre Blanc. But cream and butter are basically the same thing. There's no way anyone's going to be able to taste the difference, and that fat in the cream will help keep the emulsification and help prevent our sauce from breaking. So 4 ingredients in this sauce: a shallot, a cup or so of white wine, 6 ounces of butter, and a splash of heavy cream to make one of the most beautiful, classic, rich, tart, lovely sauces imaginable. So over on the stove, I can see I still have some liquid. It's cooking down. As it cooks down, I can hear a change in the pitch. It's getting deeper and lower as the liquid evaporates away. I want to reduce that to what the French call à sec, or almost completely dry. I want all those flavors to concentrate on the bottom of the pan, but importantly, I'm not caramelizing anything. I'm cooking a shallot in a wine, so all I'm doing is increasing the flavor and acidity of the wine and pulling that gorgeous shallot flavor out of the shallots. And I'm going to pay attention as it goes away, and then I'm going to add in a splash of heavy cream. So we're not quite there at this point. Looking in the camera, there's still a lot of liquid. So I'm going to keep cooking it down. I'll show you what we're looking for here. But if classical French sauces are something that appeals to you, here's a quick heads up. In March, we have 5 Mondays in March. 5 happens to be a very special number in French cuisine. There are 5 mother sauces. Escoffier's building blocks for French cuisine includes 5 mother sauces: bechamel, velouté, sauce tomate, espagnole, and hollandaise. And throughout the month of March, every Monday, we're going to have a class featuring each of those sauces. So if you really want to bone up on your French classics, Monday nights at 18 Reasons, come check out Mother Sauce Mondays. Here we go. Now this, a Beurre Blanc, is not a mother sauce, but it is certainly a hallmark of French cuisine. And it's infinitely variable. If you use red wine instead of white wine, you get a Beurre Rouge, or a red wine butter sauce, a red butter sauce. Red butter sauces may be a better choice with a roast chicken or maybe even a pork. We can easily finish this sauce by adding chopped herbs. I love chervil and tarragon. I'm a licorice freak. But if you're not, maybe a little bit of dill or freshly snipped Italian parsley always works. So here we go. I can hear it. It's getting deeper. I'm almost there. And again, I've concentrated those flavors down, pulled flavor out of the shallot, brought the fruitiness of the wine to a point, and really increased the acidity. The acidity is really important because we're balancing 6 ounces of cold butter against that reduced acidity of the dry white wine. So here we go. Looking in the pot now, look at that, it's almost dry. We're almost there. We're au sec. So I'm going to put this back on the heat and add in a splash of cream. Just a splash, and I'm going to reduce that by about half. So in it goes. I'm going to cook it down. Again, at no point in this sauce making do I want to color anything. So I don't want to brown the cream. I don't want to reduce it till the milk sugars caramelize in the bottom of the pot. It might be easier to do this over a medium heat rather than a screamingly hot heat. But you know, it's a video. I've done this before. I spent years cooking at a country club, and every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday night, we offered a beautiful fillet of salmon with a Beurre Blanc. Was always on our menu, and it always sold. That is cooking down. It's almost there. I'm going to reduce the heat to medium. Now here's an important thing. That sauce, that reduction in the bottom of the pot, is really hot. So I'm going to throw in about 4 chunks of butter and stir. I'm going to just keep stirring. You can do this with a whisk, but sometimes, depending on the pot and the whisk, a whisk can pull metal off the sides of the pan and turn your beautiful Beurre Blanc a bluish gray color. You never want that. As that last piece of butter disappears, I'm going to drop in a couple more pieces of butter. Medium heat, ice cold butter. The trick to keeping this emulsified is the temperature difference. Hot pan, really cold butter, and I'm just stirring. In goes a couple more pieces of butter. As each batch of butter emulsifies into the sauce and is just about gone, I'm going to take that opportunity to add in a couple more pieces. Now, you don't have to stop at 6 ounces. This sauce will hold a pound of butter if you want to go ridiculously far, but you'll lose the balance between that tart acidity of the reduced wine and the fat of the butter. So I like 6 ounces here. Makes for a nice sauce. There we go. almost there. At the very end, you have one more decision to make. Your last decision is, how refined do I feel like being tonight with my Beurre Blanc sauce? Those little bits of shallots gave up a lot of flavor. If you really wanted a perfectly refined sauce, you could strain it and get all those pieces parts out. But I'm done. That's a Beurre Blanc. And I'm not going to strain mine today. Because it's delicious. I will add a nice pinch of salt. There's plenty of acidity here, so that increases our perception of salt. We don't need to add maybe as much. Yum. This is Mike at 18 Reasons. Let's cook together.